Something I'm really wrestling with is this concept of fit, job fit, because what I'm observing is that there's kind of two different narratives when you're thinking about job fit. One is, you need to hire somebody with this certain type of personality, and if you do, then they'll be successful. And what I've observed is that person maybe not being successful, and the reason is not because of the person, it's actually because of the dynamic between them and the leader that they don't unilaterally control. The leader has a big input into that as well. And then I've also observed people who don't have the ideal personality, and they succeed not because they have the whatever concept is of a perfect personality, which I'm being a little bit facetious about because it doesn't exist. But through their self awareness, through their understanding of themselves, the problem that they're trying to solve, they come up with a very authentic way of solving that problem for them. And so, for example, what I mean by this is like if you look at sales, there's assessments out there that'll tell you if somebody's good at sales from a personality standpoint. And I kind of question this because I kind of see sales as just the process of sharing something that you're convicted about, that you're confident about. And I've seen people with a wide variety of sales wide variety of personalities sell really effectively, but they sell differently, right? And so I'm grappling with this idea of, how much in our own hiring and in our client hiring for clients are we looking for, quote, the ideal personality? And there may be real advantages to this ideal personality. For example, in the VOPS assessment, looking for operators in sales roles, right? And we have a couple of strong operators and they do great, so there's some merit to that. But also, right, by over prioritizing that, you can create kind of over compensations in the business. You become too operator heavy. Maybe too much of the company is head down in the weeds. Maybe you've only got one way of solving the problem. Maybe you're missing out on other people who might not perform quite like an operator will, but nonetheless are going to be phenomenal and are going to bring other things to the table, such as more process focus or more vision for creative ways to solve the problem or better relationship management. That could be some of the other areas of ops like visionary, processor, or synergist. And so I don't know exactly what the right answer is. And is there, what's the managerial workload to manage like more full spectrum of personalities in a role like a sales role versus operators? I don't know the answer to that. Um, Although I expect it to be a bit higher because everybody's kind of coming at the role with a slightly different perspective and different natural goals based on those personalities. Um, and so it's curious. It's just something that I'm chewing on and hope to find my answer. I don't think there is the answer. I think it's everybody's got to decide how wide do we want to put the spectrum personality wise for hiring, and then how much are we willing to invest from a leadership standpoint to meet each person where they're at and support their endeavor to be successful within their personality framework and path. Um, Not necessarily a super simple answer. So I'm kind of laughing whenever I hear this concept of like, we help you find people that are a good fit. And it's like, well, boy, the more I think about this concept of good fit, the more complicated I'm seeing it. And the more I hear people talking about the concept of good fit, it's not about the candidate so much. It's about the relationship between the candidate or the hire and the leader, right? How capable, willing, competent, self-aware, others aware, emotionally intelligent is that leader in communicating, leading, guiding, persuading, influencing, inspiring this employee to do the best work that they can within the opportunity and confines of their personality. Um, it's, candidate fit is not this unilateral binary black and white concept. It's a spectrum, and it's greatly associated or dependent on that relationship with that leader. And this is a wonderfully freeing concept because it makes me realize that I'm a big part of the question of fit, which helps me take ownership of my hiring. And it's tricky as a recruiter because this concept of binary fit seems to be extremely prevalent in hiring. And the more we can help our clients recognize that they are really the biggest part of that fit equation, and that they control that, I think the more opportunity we have to find relationships between people or help people build relationships that are truly long-lasting fits. And a lot of that comes down to mutual commitment, right? It's commitment from the leader to the new hire, from the new hire to the leader, and that commitment has to be cultivated and built authentically, humanly, through a demonstration of competence and investment into that relationship. So, ponderings on the concept of fit. It's not so simple as is the person a fit for the job, and that although that is a thing, right? Can they do the job? You know, but I think oftentimes the bigger question is this person a fit for the leader? And leaders need to be carefully taking stock of who fits with them, who they fit with, and how wide of a spectrum of personalities can their leadership style and competence and bandwidth really accommodate. And the fact is, leaders have all different levels of competence and styles, and what one leader can get away with in their hiring because they have a wide bandwidth, they have a lot of energy and competence to invest, is different than another who might be either more down in the weeds in the business, maybe not as strong in emotional intelligence working with people. That person is going to be relying more on the employee to carry some of that weight, and there's risk to that. And one of the ways we see this expressed in the businesses out there is some businesses are small and they can't grow because the leader does not have the leadership bandwidth to really open the doors wide enough to bring in enough people so that the organization can grow. They're only capable of being effective with a narrow set of candidates, and it's just a natural ceiling on the business. Whereas you have these very dynamic leaders who recognize their dependence on strong candidates. They recognize that hiring and leading and developing people is the most important thing they do, so they invest heavily in it. And those people develop an ability to be successful with a much wider array of candidates, much wider array of personalities, and it just opens up a lot of opportunity and success for their business. So I'm not sure where you're at in this journey. I'm still figuring it out myself, and maybe we'll figure out some things together.